Hey, everybody. Good evening. I hope everybody's doing well this Friday night. I have my tea ready to rock and roll. And I always have my tea, and then I have a nice glass of water. So I got to have something to drink. All right. So much nicer day here today at the homestead weather wise. A lot of sunshine. We got a lot of meltage, but did a decent day solar wise. So cannot complain about that at all. All right, so let's jump. Okay, so before we get into the topic, before I jump into the topic, I'm going to go over, obviously, do this every time, but just like I like to talk about it ahead of time. Please be kind to each other in the comments. If you're not kind to each other in the comments, my monitors will block you and you will be gone. We're not going to tolerate any nonsense. It's just, I'm not going to have it on my channel, guys. I'm just not. So that's just one of the things I want to put out there. If you have questions, once I get done with talking here in the beginning, all cap locks, please. I try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. So, just bear with me. When we get, a lot of people in the chat, it goes pretty quickly. And so I just want to, make sure that I can try to get to as many as I can. Okay, so will people work together after S.H.T.F? Now, the reason I brought this topic up, I had a lady made a comment a while back on a video that I had done, and she said, I think that people will work together after S.H.T.F because you look at what happens when we have a natural disaster and how people pull together and work together and stuff like that, which she's right on that. Okay. So let me give you my retort, if you will, on that. Uh, I believe that in the first couple of days of something happening, especially if people don't know that it's a major disaster, meaning countrywide type of situation, I think people will try to work together and help each other. And the reason that they do that, for the most part, there's a lot of good people out there, and that's why a lot of people will work together and try to help each other. But also, they know that there's an end in sight. There's an end game. Okay, things are going to get back to normal, and everything's going to be fine. And I think that's a part of it as well. But I think that people are genuinely decent people for the most part, and so I think that that's why so many people will work together in the beginning. And that's why I always tell people you basically have about 72 hours to get to where you want to get to, and then it's going to be too late to get there. Okay? Because after about that third day, and people realize that help is not coming, again, a great example of that, guys, is Hurricane Katrina. People worked together very well in the beginning, but once they realized that help wasn't coming right away to save the day and make everything better, that's when people will turn. When they don't have food, when they don't have, whatever, then it's going to basically, and I hate to use the term every man or woman for themselves, but that's what it's going to be like. So I think initially people will try to help each other and work together. After the initial thing happens, and you're going to have a lot of people, guys, and this is what a lot of people I don't think understand. Let's say, and I always like to use the scenario that the lights went out. So we're going to use that scenario for the case of this discussion. Okay, so the lights have gone out, and you're going to have a lot of people that are going to sit in their house and wait for the lights to come back on. Because why? The lights have always come back on. So that's what these people are going to do. After about 3 days and they realize that the lights maybe are not coming back on, so you're going to have a little bit of sense of panic in the beginning and, okay, well, what's going on? Why aren't they back on? Now, obviously, people with ways to communicate with each other, be it CBs, be it, ham radios, those type of things, are going to get information faster than people that don't have that type of communications, okay? So they're going to realize a lot sooner that something is really seriously wrong. So, and those are going to be your people that are going to be preppers and those type of things that already have a game plan, are going to put that game plan in action ASAP because that's the prudent thing to do. But the other people that don't have those communications are going to sit around and wait for things to get better. Well, a week into a situation and nothing is happening and no help is coming, then people are going to really, truly panic, okay? And it may happen even sooner than that, to be honest with you. So you're going to want to, have that way to find out what's really, truly going on. Communication is going to be a huge thing. And I've talked a little bit about that before, but communication is going to be huge. After that initial time period goes by, and let's call it a week just for sake of argument. After that week goes by, and people realize that help is not coming, nobody's coming to save the day, we're on our own. That's when things are going to really truly turn to crap. Now, I think honestly, 72 hours is kind of where I'm at as far as when I really think things will break down after that. But 72 hours and maybe sooner, things are going to get ugly, okay? Then it's going to really turn into every man or every woman for themselves. That's why I stress the importance, guys, of groups. If you can be a part of a group, it's a huge, huge advantage for you. Having a game plan is going to be a huge, huge advantage for you, okay? So having a plan, period, even if you don't have a group, but having a game plan ahead of time is going to be a huge advantage. Always try to give yourself, it's just like a football team. A football team is going to try to give themselves every advantage that they possibly can. It's the same thing with what we're dealing with, guys. Having a game plan is going to be so important ahead of time so that you can act and not react. And I've talked about that as well. So again, I believe in the beginning, first 72 hours, I think people will help each other. We'll try to, do the right thing, if you will. Once they realize things have gone to total crap, maybe not just in their county or their town, or maybe it's, statewide or it's worldwide, then, or countrywide, whatever, then the wheels are coming off the bus. So, that's kind of where I'm at with that, and so I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to see your questions on what you guys think. Am I way off base, or do you think that I'm right on track with that? I mean, I know human nature. Would it be a good idea to invest in walkie-talkies to set up your for your Faraday cage? Let me show you something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, great question, by the way. Walkie-talkies. Definitely highly recommend having walkie-talkies. If you can put them up a set in your Faraday cage, even better. With the walkie-talkies, even if now this here says 23 miles, okay? I'd be happy with 6 to 7 mile range, to be honest with you, because it's going to give you, again, that advantage when things go down. You're going to be able to communicate with other people in your group, maybe have somebody's spotters out, however many miles away, so they can kind of keep an eye on stuff. Again, I'm up in the hills, so we have the advantage that people are going to have to come up to us. So if we got somebody as a lookout 2 to 3 miles out, let's say, and are keeping an eye on things, they can give us that early warning, trouble's coming, and prepare that way. So yes, absolutely, walkie-talkies are a huge, huge thing. It's very, very important. I have Cobra walkie-talkies from Walmart. Mine are 37 mile span. That's good. That is good, Delma. That's the way to do it. Like I said, get more than one set. I mean, I have, let me see here. Just give you an example. These two that I got here, okay, I picked these up at a garage sale. I think I got them for less than $5. They work great. The kids and I play with them all the time, okay? So the more, like I said, communication is going to be such a huge, huge thing, okay? Make sure you put tape over the battery positive post to stop corrosion. Very good advice. Absolutely great advice. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I have, Leah says I have the Bang Fong, or whatever, how would they say it, ham radio from Amazon. You know what? Good thing to do. Very, very smart. Very, very smart. Oh, Delma, thank you so much, hon. I really, really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Thank you so much. My family's, I'll tell you what, guys, and, my family's the reason that I even began to do this in the first place. And I talk about that a little bit as well. My family is everything to me. My children are my whole world. And, when I was married to my ex-wife, obviously she was encompassed in that too. And everything that I did was about family. Still is. My mother's included in that and everything else as well. Hey, Kat, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. and I will keep them coming. We need to talk, guys. That's the whole thing, and and here's the best part. I get on here and I talk with you guys, and that's great. And I kind of give you my ideas. Hey, Mountain Girl, thank you very much, hon. I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation. I get on here and I talk to you guys, but I'm going to tell you what, I get a lot of great information off the chat as well. When you guys are making comments and you're, asking questions. And again, like I said, the only stupid question is the one that's not asked. Okay. If we're on a certain topic and, we get off topic pretty quickly, it really does happen. So, but the thing is, it's like, I want people to be able to engage with each other. And the best thing is to be able to have a positive debate. That's really, really important to me, because it's like, people are not all going to think the same. Everybody's not going to agree with everything that I say 100%. And I hope that they don't, because that would make it a boring world. But, I try to keep it grounded. I try to keep it real. And, we when I say we're all in this together, we really, truly are all in this together. And I think a lot of people really lose sight of that. So, it's really important, and we just got to stay positive, guys. That's the thing, is you don't let it get overwhelming. Mountain Girl says, my sons are my whole world. I would do anything to keep them alive. Exactly. And that's exactly what all of us should be doing. And not just our children, but our immediate family, if you're close with them. You know what I mean? Do you have a backup location in case you have to abandon your current location? I do have someplace else that I can go. I actually have a couple of different places that I can go if I need to. So yes, that's what networking is all about, with other preppers and like-minded people, and making those connections. And I talk about that too. When you have a group, guys, a group doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's coming to one location. A group can also mean is I'm at this location and I have certain people that are coming to me. And my friend Joe over here, he's got a location over here. And so we're going to use his location as a backup location. And then we have, or he plans on going there. And if he gets overrun, he comes to me. Or if we get overrun, we go to him. More than one, the better you can have. I have a friend of mine that lives down, closer to Ontario. He's in Ontario County, which is quite a ways away from me. Okay. Great guy. Been to his place. He's been here, and, he's got his setup, and we bounce ideas off of each other, and we talk about different things. And that's what it's all about. I suggest getting a veterinary and pharmaceutical book to learn about animal medications and what works for them. I stock up on fish mocks. Yeah, absolutely. Again, veterinary stuff is good. If you can get yourself somebody also in your group that's a vet tech, even, they have a good knowledge, even not just with animals, but that can be transferred over to working with humans as well. Couldn't marauders follow fleeing preppers from one location to another? Good question, Austin. They could. If you are in a running gun battle, that's going to be a difficult thing. But a lot of times, I think what marauders are going to try to do is take over a certain location, try to use those resources in that location. So as far as if you're fleeing, I think, not always, but sometimes, I think they'll leave you be if you've run off. Sometimes they may pursue you. It really depends on how jacked up they are to kill you, to be honest with you. But I think what most people, this is a great comment too. Joseph just put on here, will chefs be valuable in groups? Yes, 100%. Very, very valuable. And I'm going to tell you why. Food is great. Having all the food in the world is fantastic. If you have somebody that really, truly knows how to cook and give you a decent meal that's just not a bland meal and you're eating that bland crap, the same thing all the time, if you can have that chef or somebody that really knows how to cook, that's going to be a huge, huge morale booster, number one. And it's going to make things way better. So I think that is a huge, huge thing. Different people can bring different variety of skills to the party. Very good comment. And you're right, 100%. A variety of different people with different thought processes, different mentalities, and you share those things. The thing is, again, it's like, if you have a group of people, you're going to probably have a natural leader, but the best leader that you could possibly have is the one that's willing to listen to the smallest child that has a suggestion or advice, and you take that and you see if that's going to work for you. That's a smart thing to do. Okay. So, again, there's a lot of great information. We share it with each other. That's so important. And if you have a group, and like I said, listen to everybody. I cook for 20 years, Nashville schools, sometimes 400 kids a day. Wow, that's but then you know how to cook. That's for sure. Um, it's great to hear local info, boots on the ground from around the world. Yeah, and it is. It's like, knowing what's going on locally is going to be great. If you can be in communication with other people in your area, going to be fantastic. Being able to find out what's going on countrywide. I'd love to, like if something really terrible was happening, being able to communicate with somebody on the West Coast, because I'm on the East Coast, to find out what's going on. Let's see. If you, I missed that, Dharma. I'm sorry. Could you put that up again, hon? Actually, let me see if I can go back up. Hold on. I missed it. I'm sorry, hon. I didn't see what you said. If you could put that up there again for me, Dharma. I did not see what you said. Thinking of buying a house 4 miles from a nuclear plant. Thoughts? Don't do it. I would never buy anything that close to a nuclear power plant ever. You're putting yourself in harm's way, not just now, but when S.H.T.F happens, that's the last place you're going to want to be, is anywhere near any kind of nuclear power plant or anything like that. That's the last place you're going to want to be. Both my parents are baby boomers and don't believe anything's going to happen or get sour. Well, unfortunately, that you're going to have people that are going to believe like that, So you prepare for them, and just say, the best thing you can say is, if something happens, this is where I want you to come because I can help you. You don't have to get into a whole lot of details, but just say, if something happens bad, just come to me and I can help you. That's important. Okay. It really is. Hey, thank you, Lincoln. I appreciate that comment. Thank you. When the S.H.T.F happens, are the police or military going to come after preppers first? I don't think so. I think what's going to happen a lot of times, a lot of the military will bug out to take care of their own families if they're in stateside. If they're overseas, they're kind of screwed. But I think a lot of people, you may have groups that are going to band together to turn into gangs. That could happen as well in the military as well. I think you're going to see cops are going to band together with other cops. And, they may be good, they may be bad. It's just like with anything, guys. There's good and bad in every kind of group that's out there. There's good nurses, there's bad nurses. There's good EMTs, there's bad EMTs. There's good doctors, there's bad doctors. There's good policemen and there's bad policemen, So it just goes along the whole thing with that. My cousin is a police officer, and he said policemen are preppers. Well, a lot of them are. A lot of them are woken up and really know what's going on, and they're preparing. I am willing to moderate if you wish, if it's not. Oh, okay. Guys, if you want to make Dharma, yeah, go ahead and make Dharma a moderator. I would appreciate that. That's great, Dharma. I thank you for that. Yes. I know you've been on and you've been following for a while. So, yeah, if you guys want to make Dharma a monitor, please do. Police may intercept preppers en route to bug out locations and roadblocks. It's if you got a ton of supplies, yeah, that could happen. If you have your property where you're going to set up ahead of time, I would stay off the main roads. I mean, I've talked about this a little bit before. I'm not jumping on the highway to get to my bug out location. I mean, I'm at my bug out location, but I'm talking if I live in suburbia and I have my bug out location, or if I, like one of the guys in my group, like an example, lives in Greece, okay? And so if he needs to come out here, I don't want him taking main roads. He needs to take back roads and side roads, no different routes to get here. It's going to be much, much safer. Main roads or highways and stuff like that may be choke pointed off. Why do you think, okay, when you're on a highway and you're going straight and you come up and it's got that curve like that, where it curves around to go that direction? That's a choke point. They do that on purpose to stop people if they need to. So if you can avoid highways when S.H.T.F happens, if somebody just said on here, take bike paths. Absolutely, great escape routes. Bike paths, any kind of horse trail, any kind of thing like that that's out there. Utilize what's there. Be smart about it. That's the biggest thing, is be smart. Have an alternate means of transportation in case it's an EMP. Have a bicycle. Heather and I were actually talking about that today when I was taking her to her mom's today. And, I said, we're going to make sure we got a bicycle for you, and she's going to have a bug out bag. And we're going to, and we were talking as we're driving, we kind of went by the college, and I said, okay, now you see this here, you're going to want to go this way, but we're going to drive those routes. We're going to get out there. We're going to drive the different routes so she can see them. We're going to have them mapped out for her, and that's going to be in her bug out bag, so she knows exactly where she has to go. Again, if you have children in college, you should be doing the same thing, making sure they have a bug out bag, making sure they know 5 or 6 different routes on the ways to get home in case they're going this way and there's some kind of stoppage where she can't get through or he can't get through. Go a different route. Again, be the gray man. That's the important thing too. Let's see. I have 2 or 3 extra bikes for S.H.T.F, spare parts, extra bike shoes. Yeah, very smart, very smart. Having bikes, having extra tires, having extra tubes, ways to patch them and stuff like that. So absolutely, very, very smart, very, very smart. My awesome news, my stepkids and their mother and her husband are started prepping to learn. Oh, very good. That's awesome. That's awesome. And again, you know what? It's like, so many people want to make, the X the enemy. It doesn't have to necessarily be like that. It's healthier if you can have, you don't have to be buddies, you don't have to be hanging out, but as long as you can have some kind of working relationship for your children's sake, that's really, really important. Really important. Let's see what we got here. All caps, guys, for questions. Drewman says, I want to get into canning soon. A lot of videos on YouTube about it, too. Great thing to do. Canning is very, very smart to do. So absolutely, again, learn another skill that's going to help make yourself more valuable when S.H.T.F happens. Very, very smart. Okay, guys, while I'm thinking about it, I want to talk 2 things real quick. My website, preppernurse1.com. Right now, we're having a sale, 10% off of everything. Almost there is the discount code. That sale is going to end Sunday at midnight West Coast time. Okay, so if you're looking to save on legacy foods, if you want to get a T-shirt, if you want to get a coffee mug, just like this coffee mug right here, okay, you can go right to the website and you can get that right there at preppernurse1.com. We also have the Prepper Nurse 1 community on the website now, and you click on that and you become registered. You go in, all 50 states, Puerto Rico, Canada, the UK, Australia, Germany, Spain, just to name a few different places that, if you want to get on there. We also have a seniors section. We have a singles section. We also have a disabled person section. So whatever group you want to get involved with over there, talk with like-minded people. It's great to do. People are putting message boards up all the time over there. So a lot of great information. And again, it's about sharing. It doesn't cost anything to join that at preppernurse1.com. You go to the PN1 community, free registration, doesn't cost you anything. You can be part of that community and talk with other like-minded people in your state and in your area. It's also a nice way if you're looking to try to form a group in your area or your state. Good way to do it. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there while I was thinking about it. So just wanted to say that. Animal sounds, cows, chickens, etc. travel will attract other people looking for food. You're right about that. So you gotta be really, really careful. You got to be really, really careful with that. Do you think the red flag law is taking effect going to be a problem for preppers? I think it's going to be a problem for everybody, guys. I honestly do. Again, with the red flag law is being adopted in a lot more states as we continue on. I think that people need to be really, really careful. Don't advertise what you have. A lot of states now are requiring you to register weapons when you buy them. You make your own decision on that. As far as that goes, any kind of new weapon you're buying, if you're going to be like in New York State right now, if you go to buy an AR-15, like one of my neighbors won an AR-15 in a raffle. Okay, it had the magazine welded in where it can only be 10 rounds at a time in that magazine, and that is a registered weapon now because they're on that list. So when it comes to me, registration is only about confiscation. That's all it is. Because eventually down the road, they're going to come and they're going to knock on that door and they're going to say, where's that weapon? Okay. So if you can get weapons other ways. You do what you have to do. I don't recommend it for pistols, because if you get popped with an illegal pistol, you're going to go to prison. So, but like, if you can get a shotgun, or if you can buy, a rifle from an individual, somebody else, do that privately. It's nothing. It's not illegal to do that. Cold week ahead, grand solar minimum. You are right about that. We got more snow coming. I believe it's on Sunday. We're supposed to get a good storm coming through here. And there's a couple days next week are going to be pretty cold. So it's supposed to be getting nicer now, not colder. So we're going to have some sub-zero temperatures next week. I buy 22 rounds every week. Sterling said that. Great. Very smart to do. Very, very smart to do. Do you think about improvised weapons in place to protect your property and save ammo? Absolutely. If you can set up booby traps, having other different types of stuff, having tripwires, be ready to do that and set them up when S.H.T.F happens. The people that you care about, make sure that they know that those are going to be out there. But the people that you don't care about, make sure that, they are there and they can do the damage for you. Punji sticks, buried holes where you got the punji sticks. Put feces, put dog feces, or even human feces. Human feces is the worst thing there is out there. Put that on there. How important is combat gun training in the urban setting? I think it's very important. I think that it's with any kind of training that you can get that's going to give you an advantage. Again, be it in medical, be it in a skill that's going to make you more valuable after S.H.T.F. Being proficient with weapons, know the safety, know what to do, putting rounds down range on a regular basis. Very important stuff, guys. My thoughts on solar generators. I really haven't dealt with a lot of solar generators. I had a buddy of mine that had one of them. So I really haven't looked into that a lot because I have my own solar system. So I really can't give you advice on the solar generators. I can't say yes or no on those. So I'm sorry, but I really don't have a lot of knowledge on those. Thoughts on India and Pakistan, both nuclear countries, trigger happy? Yes, very, very scary situation. I know that they're exchanging mortar fire still. I think that, that cooler heads need to prevail. I know that they were releasing the one pilot to try to calm things down. Really, it's like I said, and that's another situation we need to stay right out of, because if they go nuclear on each other, it's not going to affect us directly here in the United States. It's going to affect them, and it's going to cause a lot of damage, and it'll be a horrible, horrible thing. But, hello from Minnesota. We are getting a snowstorm again today. Sorry to hear that. I know you guys got up in Minnesota and stuff have been hammered this year. The Northeast has been hammered pretty good this year, especially in the Midwest. I know you guys have been getting a ton of snow out that way. Can solar panels get damaged during an EMP? There's a diode in the solar panel that would be fried. If you have replacement diodes in like a Faraday bag or a Faraday cage or something like that, you can replace those and your panels would be fine after that. But that diode will be affected in the solar panel, yes. What would you do in a situation where children have to find their way to your group? What would you do? If you got kids, like I said, you're going to need to teach your kids how to get to wherever the location is. Maybe you're not going to make it. That's actually a really good thing. So, you might not be able to make it, but if you have children and if they know what to do, you've like run a couple of drills with them, you've gone over information with them, they could still get to the bug out location and be safe. So I think that is really, really important. Involve your children in everything, guys. I really think it is. It's really, really important. Oh my goodness, Dharma, thank you very much, honey. Thank you so much. Thank you. She says, I want to make this donation on behalf of your viewers who can't. We love you and your family. Dharma, thank you so much. It's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. But again, if you can involve your children in every aspect of what you're doing, teach your children skills. Teach your children how to get to the bug out location. If they have to do it on foot, bicycle, whatever, teach them how to make a fire. Be able to, get them off of the ground, okay, so that they know. Give them any kind of knowledge that you can and help them with. please do that. That is so important. It's a great comment. Thank you for saying that comment again. That's awesome. What about wandering orphan children? Will they be looking for food, protection, and shelter? That is survival prepping 101. That's going to be a difficult call. Honestly, there's going to be a lot of wandering children out there that are not going to have somebody to help them. Again, that is going to be on an individual prepper's preference. I mean, here's what my ex-wife used to say. It was like a joke. Anybody who's watched Baywatch knows who David Hasselhoff is. He was like the head lifeguard of Baywatch. And she used to say this joke, can't save them all, Hasselhoff. And unfortunately, that's the case. You can't save them all. You can try to do the best you can. We're going to need young people after S.H.T.F. We're definitely going to need young people because a lot of preppers, guys, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm 53 years old. I'll be 54 this year. The young people are the future. So the more knowledge and stuff that we can teach them, and after an event, if there's kids out there, if you can help some kids, do it. But again, you're going to have to get to a point where you're going to have to say enough is enough. So that's an individual call. Personally myself, if I can, I'm going to, okay? Because again, kids can do a lot for you, very trainable, and they're awesome. All right, let's see what we got here, guys. Let's see. Deep big city dwellers need a map and exit route from the city. And not just one exit route. Jay, thank you for the question. Not just one exit route, several exit routes. Be it underground through the sewer system, following the waterways, different ways of like bike paths. Again, another great thing. Those are the things that you really want to look at is different escape routes, not using the main roads. I'm going to emphasize that a lot. Not using the main roads. So you want to really, really look at several different ways to get out of cities and know what to do. And like I said, again, keeping a low profile. What do you do if your family doesn't allow you to have guns? I don't know how old you are, Joseph. You probably are a teenager if that's the case. If you're not allowed to have guns, get a slingshot, get a crossbow or a compound bow. And you say, yeah, I want to shoot. I want to learn how to do archery. That is going to be a great thing to have in a post-event. A silent way to defend yourself, crossbow, compound bow, those type of things, and knowing again how to use it. That's the best way to do it. Okay. So, again, those are not going to be things that your parents might not have a real big thing with. So look at doing that. I hope that helps. Even a knife of a sizable length. Yep, another great, yeah. Having a knife and a decent knife and know how to use it again. Kevin H says, if you can legally own a gun, get one. Absolutely. Right, absolutely. James, thank you for the donation. Bug out bag only good for maybe 72 hours. You're right. Yeah, you're trying to get great comment, James, by the way. You're trying to get from point A to point B. Hopefully point B, you have a lot of supplies. Again, along the way to your bug out location, have buried caches, guys. Have backups of clothes, boots, weapons if you can, food, shelter, some way to stay warm, way to start a fire, all those type of things. Even having that pan to boil water, it's going to make a big difference. So very, very smart to do. Very, very smart to do. Also, don't forget about takedown bows. Those bullets are mighty hard to come by in a real S.H.T.F situation. Yeah, exactly. Get as many arrows, bolts for your bows and your compound bows and your the other kind. I'm going blank here, but anyway, have as many arrows as you possibly can get now. After an event, again, and I've said this a lot, and I'm going to just keep repeating myself on certain things. When things go bad, it's too late to get anything else. You don't want to be running to the store with all the rest of the people that are crazed and losing their minds. Arrows and bolts are single-use items usually, Kevin just put on here. Well, it really depends on, yeah, but they can be, but some stuff can be reusable. Again, depends on what tips you're having on the arrows, So, but no, Wisconsin Prepper just said learn how to make arrows. That's a very good advice. Like I said, but any kind of advantage, guys, again, that you can give yourself, do it. The last thing you're going to want to do, trust me when I say this, because it's like I've put a lot of thought into this, and I think about this all the time. The last thing you're going to want to do when S.H.T.F happens is run to the store with everybody else. So hopefully you have enough stuff in place ahead of time. I lost a lot of storage because of Mike's suggestions how to store dry goods. Okay, great question. With storing dry goods, you're going to want to, like a lot of times, bay leaves. Mice can't stand bay leaves. Mice can't stand dryer sheets. So when your bug out bucket, like your 5-gallon buckets, if you're using that and say you're vacuum sealing it or you're using Mylar or whatever, throw in dryer sheets. Slice off Irish Spring soap. The mice can't stand that either. So you slice that off. They can't stand that smell. We do that with the camper. You put Irish Spring in there. You put dryer sheets in there, the scented dryer sheets. They can't stand that. Bay leaves, again, into your bug out food that you're storing, put a bay leaf or a few bay leaves in there. Again, the mice don't like that either. Bugs don't like it either. So those are the things that I would suggest to do as far as your food. Because I'm going to tell you what, my outbuilding out here, this is my shop. I have a bunch of stuff stored in buckets out there. Now, I also have 8 cats. So, again, having cats is a great thing to have. They're going to keep the mice down and that population down anyway. Okay? So, dryer sheets are toxic. Well, I'm not telling you to eat them. If you have your stuff vacuum sealed, or if you have it in a Mylar bag, on the outside of that, you don't put it in the bag, put it on the outside. That's going to keep those mice away. And the thing is, like, so your area, wherever you're storing your stuff, okay? Another way to do it. So you got all your 5-gallon buckets, and you got them stacked 3-4 high, and let's say you got 25, 30 of them. All around them, put dryer sheets all around them. Irish Spring soap all around them. It's going to keep those bugs away. Mice hate the smell of mint. They won't go near it. Again, yeah, exactly. So there's another thing you can do. Get the scent of mint. Put it on a cotton ball. Pop that around there as well. So, again, like I say, Irish Spring is a great one. Just go buy a couple bars of Irish Spring and slice it up and flip that all in your area wherever you're storing your stuff. It'll make a big difference. All right, let's see. Peppermint essential oil, another one. Great, very good. Yep, exactly. So there's a lot of alternatives out there that you guys can do that's going to help you with your long-term storage of stuff. Again, like I said, just having a couple of cats make a big difference, believe it or not. Now, Mountain Girl just put mason jars. Yeah, if you have your stuff in mason jars, they can't get into it, okay? All my glass jars, when I get my honey, and I get my honey in the jars, when I'm done with the honey, a lot of times I'll fill those up with rice, throw a couple bay leaves in there, and there we go. Mice eat anything but metal. I don't think they eat glass. Mice love peanut butter. Lay a trail to your neighbor's house. I like that, Kevin. Very good. But again, put traps out there too if you want. Have like a 5-gallon bucket. They show how to do a mouse trap with a 5-gallon bucket. You can kill a lot of mice that way. Let's see. How do I prep for your cat food? I keep a lot of cat food on hand. Same with the dog food, and I rotate it. So we would probably be good after S.H.T.F for several months, because actually, if you keep cat food or dog food too long, it turns toxic. So you really don't want to do that. Again, so what you want to look at is having enough for 3 or 4 months. And then obviously you're going to cut down on their portions. So then you could maybe double the length of that as far as your animals go. And they can catch their own food. Yes, they can. And if it's depending on the time of year, they will be out hunting. I know my cats, In the summertime, they are out all the time, and they are always hunting, especially Buddy's my number one hunter. Any knowledge on what is going to happen in prison to inmates after S.H.T.F happens? Not many questions. Not your question, by the way. Okay. My personal opinion is your lower risk prisoners, I think a lot of them will be let free in minimum security prisons, that are not your supermax prisons. I think those people, I think they'll be put down. That's my opinion. Do I think they should be put down? I think a lot of them should be. Your rapists, your child molesters, your murderers, and I'm not talking about the guy that did vehicular manslaughter. I'm talking about the guy that went out there and butchered 7 or 8 people, just for whatever reason. Those type of people, they should be put down. Rapists should be put down. Pedophiles should be put down. Your guy that, is in prison because he sold an ounce of marijuana to an undercover cop, no, absolutely not. Let him go. So I think you're going to see that kind of thing happen where a lot of the guys are going to be let loose. But I think your more hardened prisoners, like Attica here in New York, we have the Attica prison. It's a harder prison. I think a lot of them will be put down. I really do. That's just my opinion. And I think a lot of them should be. Kevin says they say many will simply be released. I think a lot of them will be, Kevin. I really do. Again, your minimum security prisons, I think a lot of those guys, they're you know what they're going to want to do? They're going to want to get home. Like everybody else, they're just going to want to get home with their families. So I think a lot of them are that's what's going to happen. Kevin says even the bad ones, I don't think so. I think the cops will take that, or the prison guards, or corrections officers. I don't want to say the wrong term because somebody will get all pissed off, but I think they will, on individual discretion, they might just lock them in and leave. So I think that could happen as well. Ex-prison worker was on the Marv. He explained FEMA plans. Sherry Scott said that. I think there's going to be a lot of things, guys, that are going to happen. What would be the alternative? Let them die? Yeah, Kevin, I think that's going to happen a lot. I think a lot of prisoners, if they're locked in and they can't unlock the cells, I think they're going to leave them. I think that they will. And I think your really bad ones should be. So call me terrible for saying it, but you know what? But I think, like I said, your people that are in prison for stealing a car, those type of things, I think that they'll be let out. I really do, because they're not like a huge risk type of things. Okay, Mountain Girl just made this comment, and girls learn self-defense. To the ladies out there, and I have like 40% of my subscribers are women, learn how to protect yourself now. Take self-defense courses. Learn that, if you're a 100-pound woman, I'm 215 pounds, okay? I'm a pretty big boy. I could easily overpower a lot of people, but if you know what you're doing and how to defend yourself, it's going to give you that advantage. A lot of people don't know how to handle themselves. So if you can get some kind of training, self-defense training, women, please do it. Please do it. Heather's going to have that before she goes off to college. I'm telling you right now. She's going to know how to handle herself when she goes to college. Heather's not a big girl, so I want her to be able to defend herself. And ladies out there, if you can, get your pistol permit. That's a great deterrent for anybody. And men too, you know what I mean? It's bad things can happen to men too. Men get raped too, guys. So, it does happen. Yes, after S.H.T.F, Joseph just put on here, women should dress like men when going out after S.H.T.F. Absolutely. If you're trying to get to your bug out location, the last thing you want people to know is that you are a female in that, because you make yourself an easier target, even if you're not, okay? How long will flour and sugar last in a Mylar bag? Flour shelf life is not that long. If you have the whole wheat berries, that's different. They'll last a lot longer. Sugar will last indefinitely. Sugar is going to be great. White sugar, okay? White sugar will last a long 30 plus years. It might get hard on you, But if you have it in a Mylar bag and it's sealed up really, really good, it's going to last a long, long time. But again, flour, you're looking at maybe 18 months on flour generally, even sealed up, because it just doesn't have the shelf life. Never fight fair. Yes, James, absolutely. Great comment. There is the only people used to say that to me back in the day, and I haven't been in a fight, guys, since I was 27 years old. Okay, but people used to say to me, "You don't fight fair," and I said, "If I don't get hurt, that's fair. That's what it is. You do whatever you have to do to win when you're in that type of situation. As long as you don't get hurt, that's fair. There's no rules when it comes to fighting." How long will oatmeal last? Oatmeal's got a pretty decent shelf life. I don't know exactly what the shelf life is on oatmeal. I pack up a lot of oatmeal. It's going to last a good long time. It's not going to last 30 years, okay, but it will last a good long time. Somebody says, oh, Thomas just said, hit the like button, people. Yeah, please hit that thumbs up for me, guys. YouTube looks at all of that. Everybody learns self-defense now. Good advice, Kevin. Very good advice. And again, like I said, especially the ladies, though. I'm going to say that again, especially the women, the ladies out there, please learn self-defense now. Get your pistol permit. Become proficient with that. Make it like it's your second hand. Can I give my mailing address again? I don't. Okay. For my mailing address, all you got to do, P.O. Box 432. It's Dansville, Dansville, New York, 14437. If you put PN1 on it, that you're sending it to PN1, they know me at the post office. So they know who that is, okay? Old women who survive will also be in danger. Easy mark for theft, robbery, to overpower and kill. Have a weapon and know how to use it. Again, great advice. Know what you're doing. I'm going to tell you what, one of the best shots that I know with a gun, be it a pistol or a rifle or a shotgun, is my mother, who is 75 years old. I would leave her in the house with the kids or wherever it was, and I know my mom would do what she needed to do. She knows how to handle it. And so, there is a lot of really good people out there that know stuff. Learn as much as you possibly can, especially how to be able to no carry permit needed in Oklahoma. That's good, Jeff. That's real good, because they're like locked us down here in New York. I can tell you that. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, Colonel Colt made them equal. Yep, God created humans. Colonel Colt made them equal. Absolutely, he did. Want to keep bears from digging up my cash. What material to use? If you got it deep enough, and if you got everything sealed up really well, that your bucket's not emitting a lot of smell, and when I say deep enough, you want to be below the frost line anyway. Number one, that's important, because you don't want your contents in your bug out bucket or whatever you have your cash to freeze and unfreeze and freeze and unfreeze. You want them below that frost line where the temperature is going to stay a constant temperature of 58 degrees. So if you go down 2-3 feet, I know up here in New York it's 2 feet up here in New York. So I would probably go down a minimum of 3 feet. If it's 3 feet underground and it's reburied and stuff like that, generally bears are not going to smell that and dig that up. They're not going to. Everyone dig a bunker come spring. I am. You know what? That's actually good advice. You can call it a root cellar, whatever you need to do, cold storage. Very, very smart to do. That is on my list as well. I don't know if I'm going to get to that this year, but I have some other, once I get my main plans done that I want to do this year, then we're going to go from there. And so we're going to see how things go from that point. No frost line for James. Well, that's good, James. That's really good. But again, you're going to want to have that buried deep enough. Again, like the guy said, somebody else talked about bears. You don't want to have it so close to the surface that it's going to either get pushed up because of flooding or water, whatever. If you go down 2-3 feet, in your area, I would go down 2 feet. You should be safe at 2 feet if you have no frost line. I have hand crank metal grinder, but still need a grain grinder. Good to have. Grain is definitely good to have. Am I planning on building an old-fashioned ice house? Austin, good question. What I actually plan on doing is making an underground freezer uh, right underground and have a section of my underground area cordoned off and insulated and use ice blocks and those type of things in that area to make an underground freezer. Because like I said, when we're in the winter, I could take 5-gallon buckets, put them outside, let them freeze, take them down in there, and that's going to bring that temperature down to below freezing so that I have an underground freezer. And then like in the summertime, like what I can do is in my freezer, I can just have containers again, freeze them, put them in a bigger container, and put them into that. So I have underground, like an underground freezer for that time period if I need to do that. Water table is 2 feet. The beach is 2 blocks away. All right. Well, then, like I said, again, you gotta, if you can go 2 feet down, then that's good. That's definitely good. Oh, make Dharma D a monitor, please. Mike, if you're watching, please make her. Yeah, somebody just saw you now, Dharma. They're going to get you. People who have weapons, keep them clean and oiled up. That's you know what? That's another great thing to have. Make sure you have gun oil. Make sure you have rags to clean your weapons. It's going to be really, really important, especially after S.H.T.F. Okay, really, really important. Again, what you want to look at too, guys. Another thing that you want to do is like with hunting after S.H.T.F. happens. If there's going to be enough game out there, save the hides. Hides can be used to keep you warm. They can be used to make clothes, okay? So I have to mod her? Okay. Dharma, I will get to you, hon. I'll make you I don't know. She went away too fast. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. So let's see. Speaking of grinders, would mortars and pedestals be good in S.H.T.F? Yeah, they'll work as well. Any way that you can grind grain, grind corn, to make cornmeal or those type of things. Anything that you can use to to make bread and stuff like that. There's different ways to do it. You don't have to have a grinder. A grinder is going to be an easier way to do it, but there's absolutely other ways to do it as well. Okay. I know, but it's not. I'm not seeing it because it's. Oh, hold on. Let me move this over. Dharma, make another comment, hon, and I'll see if I can get you. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, Dharma, just say hi or something for me so that I can hit you here real quick. Heirloom seeds. Mountain Girl said heirloom seeds. Yes. Have seeds. Have seeds. That's very, very important. All right, Dharma, you're in, baby. Gotcha. Thank you. Mike had to show me how to do it, so, that I'm not proficient in. All right, so moonshine would be used fishing line. Moonshine, guys, another thing, too. Remember this here. Moonshine can be used as a disinfectant as well, okay? That's going to be a really, really big thing as well. Okay, so having moonshine is going to be a really important thing after S.H.T.F. If you know somebody knows how to make it or you can make it yourself, again, that can be used as a disinfectant, which you're going to need. Motor oil can be used for gun oil. Great comment. Thank you, Lane, for saying that. All right. What are the other ways to grind without electric? Again, having that hand crank, something that you can hand crank to do that. They have those out there. You can pick them up on eBay, all over the place like that. There's a lot of different places that you can, do that. So anyway, learn the brain method of tanning hides. Good advice, Kevin. I know that they use that. That's one. Like I said, there's so much information out there, guys. It's available to us all right now that we can take in. I don't care if you download it onto a zip drive. There's all kinds of stuff, and as long as you can get to to be able to have that Faraday cage, to have some kind of laptop that you can use after S.H.T.F happens, or have some way to create power after S.H.T.F happens, to get that information, or download it in paper form. That's a great way to do it too. They bought from Lehman's and found the hand crank mixer instead of electric ones. My hubby loves it. Yeah, again, that's great advice. The hand crank one's better than electric ones. Definitely, if you can do that, definitely do that, okay? That's going to make a big, big difference. When I say the more things that you can have that are not going to require power is going to give you an advantage. How can you stay busy during S.H.T.F? You're going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to make sure, if it's summertime, you're going to need to start getting wood for winter for your wood stove, getting your gardens in, tending your gardens, keeping an eye on that. Can moonshine be used as fuel? That's a good question. I am not 100% sure, to be honest with you. I don't know how well that would work, because it's too high, I think. I don't think that would work. I don't think moonshine could work as fuel. In a Model T, yes. Austin just said. Well, since there's not in a modern car, no. Okay, I didn't think so. Again, if you can make a gasifier, a wood gasifier, that's another thing. There's a lot of different information out there that's right there for us all to take right now. If you can get it down in paper form, that you maybe even if you just had it all in paper form and use it later. Again, books, guys. I've talked about books a lot. The more stuff that you can learn and have on hand is going to give you an advantage later on. It's going to be a big, big difference. Big difference. People on Netflix watch Jericho, EMP movies. Yeah, you can pick up tips even from there. How can we convert our AR-15s to full auto? Asking for a friend. Well, I'm not privy to that information, so you would have to ask around on that, because I'm not that information. I do not know. I'll just put it like that. Let's see. Crayons can be used as candles. Great comment, Kathy. Yes, absolutely. Crayons can be used as candles. They'll burn for a good long time. And again, there's so much stuff. Panicking will be a problem most when S.H.T.F situation happens. Do not panic. Great advice, JJ. Great advice. Again, having a plan, putting that plan into action, remaining calm. Those are going to be the things. You don't want to panic. Panic is going to get people killed, okay? Yeah, somebody just said, Ed cannot illegal information. You're right. Thank you. Yeah, I can't. So any information can be found, though. Any information that you're looking for can be found. But be careful when doing that, to be honest with you, on your laptop, your own personal computer. Be careful. Just bought Jericho, the whole series on DVD from Walmart. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've been watching it. Love to see a bug out RV from, even if you don't have an RV. Well, I have the camper. I don't have a drivable RV, but I do have the camper. Stocking up on wine is good and it lasts forever. Another, like I said, go out there and buy that cheap vodka. Go out, there's different things that you can go out. Scotch gets nothing but better with age. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can, you can do that's gonna, be good to have. Disguise your preps as junk. Then it's something filthy that will pass it by. Again, yeah, like I said, the more things that you can not have all in one place is going to be better. Having different caches out there is going to be a really, really good thing to have, and smart to do. Really, really smart to do, guys. So for storing fuel, get a can of Safe Foam under $10 at Walmart. Pour 1 can per 5 gallons. Keeps gas pretty stable. Yeah, there's all kinds of different things. There's to keep gas more stable, that it'll last longer. So very, very smart to do. Like I said, I keep I think I got about 50 gallons of gas that I keep on hand at all times. So, that I definitely do that. The colder the climate is, the better place to be. I think so. Ozark Prepper One just said that. Personally, I believe that that's the case myself. Colder elevation, you're going to have a lot of cold. The cold weather alone will kill off a lot of people way before they get to you. All right, guys. Well, anyway, so we're getting to the end of this for today, and it's went by really, really fast. It always really does. So I want to just do my normal thing here at the end of my videos. Remember, guys, we are all in this together. That's important to remember. And so let's work together, try to help each other out, okay? It's really, really important. And remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. So to tell the people that you care about every day is so, so important to do, okay? Remember, STD, one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there, guys, is yourself. Nobody else can do it, okay? It's really, really important to remember that. Stay positive. Stay away from the negativity. Negative people, all they want to try to do is bring you down. So just don't let them do that, okay? Work together. Stay positive, and don't panic. That's really important. And stay away from negative people, okay? I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I hope you have a good night tonight. I will see you all later. Have a good night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.